Namak Pareshaya Brahmane Nanta Shaktaye Arupayo Rupaya Nama Ascharya Karmane. No, just the second verse, please. Parashtarya Brahmane Nanta Shaktaye Brahmane Nanta Namascharya Brahmane Tasmai Namah Pareshaya Brahmane Nanta Shaktaye Arupayo Rupaya Nama Ascharya Karmane. Tasmai Namah Pareshaya Brahmane Nanta Shaktaye Arupayo Rupaya Nama Ascharya Karmane. Any ladies? Tasmai Namah Pareshaya Brahmane Nanta Shaktaye Arupayo Rupaya Nama Ascharya Karmane. Tasmai Namah Pareshaya Brahmane Nanta Shaktaye Arupayo Rupaya Nama Ascharya Karmane. Like to chant? Ruku? You like to chant? Tasmai Namah Pareshaya Brahmane Nanta Shaktaye Arupayo Rupaya Nama Ascharya Karmane. No, not Vijate. There is Yasya, of whom Supreme Personality of Godhead, Cha, also Janma, birth. Oh, just a quick question. Did you bring the sweets? Mass exodus there. Namarupe. I already missed something out, probably. Anyway, never mind. Any material name or material form. Guna, qualities. Dosha, fault. Eva, certainly. Va, either. Tatapi, still. Loka, of this cosmic manifestation. Apyaya, who is the destruction. Sambhavaya, and creation. Yaha, he who. Svamayaya, by his own potency. Tani, activities. Anakalam, eternally. Richati, accepts. Tasmai, unto him. Namaha, I offer my obeisances. Para, transcendental. Ishaya, who is the supreme controller. Brahmane, who is the supreme Brahman. Parabrahman. Ananta Shaktaye, with unlimited potency. Arupaya, possessing no material form. Uru Rupaya, possessing various forms as incarnations. Namaha, I offer my obeisances. Ascharya Karmane, whose activities are wonderful. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. The Supreme Personality of Godhead has no material birth, activities, name, form, qualities, or thoughts. To fulfill the purpose for which this material world is created and destroyed, He comes in the form of a human being, like Lord Ram or Lord Krishna, by His original internal potency. He has immense potency, and in various forms, all free from material contamination. He acts wonderfully. He is therefore the Supreme Brahman. I offer my respects to Him. Purport. In the Vishnu Purana it is said, Gunams Chidoshams Chamune Vati Lila Samasta Kalyana Ganatmako He, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, has no material form, qualities, or thoughts. He is spiritual and is the only reservoir of all spiritual qualities. As stated in Bhagavad Gita 4.8 by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya chadushkritam. The Lord's activities of saving the devotees and annihilating the demons are transcendental. Anyone annihilated by the Supreme Personality of Godhead gets the same result as a devotee who is protected by the Lord. Sounds like it's not a bad idea. Maybe we can become demons. What do you think? We have more fun. More fun. Get the same result, huh?
I don't think they get exactly the same result.
Pardon?
I don't think they get exactly the same result.
Not exactly the same result. No two people get exactly the same result, do they? In one sense, we're all individuals. Yes, if you merge into the Brahman, it's pretty similar. Not so easy to be directly killed by the personality of Godhead, is it? It's a very rare fortune. Generally, Krishna leaves it up to his time expansion, doesn't he? And the time expansion, the Kala Chakra just keeps people swirling around in the world of the material energy, right? The world of karma. To be killed by Krishna directly, all karma is cleaned up, huh? Cleared up. That's it's a very unusual opportunity. It happens once in a while when Krishna appears. Anyone annihilated by the personality of Godhead gets the same result as a devotee who is protected by the Lord. Both of them are transcendently promoted. The only difference, so here's the difference here. The only difference is that a devotee goes directly to the spiritual planets and becomes an associate of the Supreme Lord, whereas the demons are promoted to Brahma Loka, the impersonal effulgence of the Lord. Both of them, however, are transcendently promoted. We do see exceptions to that rule, isn't it? Can you think of an exception? Well, there are probably quite a few. Pardon? Who?
Jai and Vijay.
Jai and Vijay, yeah, they're sort of a little different, aren't they? Now, Jai and Vijay, the gatekeepers, they're eternal associates of the Lord. They are not ordinary living entities, like in the sense of an ordinary Jiva Shakti. They're eternal associates of the Lord. They never, in one sense, they never fall down. They expand. It's explained in the Bhagavatam that they don't actually fall down in the same way that, we kind of understand that Jiva falls down, a normal Jiva. But they expand for the will of the Lord into three forms, the three demons. Then they re-enter back into their original form. Prabhupada said, it is a complete mistake to think that in every millennium Jai and Vijay fall down. They don't. They don't do that. They just appeared in that one millennium, according to Srila Prabhupada anyway, just for the purpose of the Lord's pastimes. They said usually they're actually demons. So it's kind of slightly different than the one we're talking about here, although Jai and Vijay. But otherwise, Prabhupada writes it there, is that otherwise they're normally demons. So yes, one would assume that they enter into the Brahmajyoti. Those pastimes unwind in another millennium, another day of Lord Brahma, whatever it is, or another millennium of some kind. But in general, the demons, there are some demons who, besides that, any other examples? Kamsa is another special person. Well, what happened to Kamsa?
He got the same form as the Lord.
Same form as the Lord. He was meditating on the form of the Lord. Huh? Entered into the form. I guess he got the same form somewhere or another. I don't know where he went. Where did he go? It's usually a more simple and clear example. Anyone think of one? Putana. She's the most famous example, isn't it? And some of the other demons are also there, mentioned there. Again, they're not ordinary living entities. In one sense, they're demons. In another sense, they're not demons, are they? I mean, in her previous life, she wasn't really a demon, was she? She fell in love with Lord Vamana, right? She was madly attracted to him. But because Lord Vamana took everything, Lord Vamana took everything away from Bali Maharaj. She was Bali's sister? What was it? I hear both things. Sometimes I hear daughter, sometimes sister. Anyway, Bali Maharaj lost everything and she became angry and, she loved him and wanted to kill him at the same time. Kind of a strange combination, I suppose, although these things do happen, and unfortunately. And so she came with Krishna with a kind of offering her motherly love, in one sense, with the intention of killing the child. So Krishna accepted the motherly love, sucked out the negative stuff, and gave her a position, not as Mother Yasoda, that's an illusion, that's Mayavad, to think we become Mother Yasoda, or we become Jai and Vijay, or become Hanuman. So it's not. We follow in their mood. So she became a nurse in the spiritual world. One of the nurses of Krishna. A little bit on the outside, but the same principle, that mood of giving her breast milk, motherly affection, so we can understand there. She's most likely understood there. She's wanted to be like the mother. She was thinking, if only I could have this beautiful young boy as my child, I could offer him my breast milk. So she got that fulfilled in various ways. Krishna delivered her. But we'll read on. The only different devotee goes directly. There goes Brahmajyoti. Both of them, the Lord's killing and annihilating of the demons is not exactly like the killing of this material world. Although he appears to act, within the modes of nature, he is nirguna. He's above the modes. That's like the materialistic people. We were reading or hearing yesterday. And usually we hear, let's give an example, Bhagavad Gita. Now, how long does it take you to read the Sanskrit in Bhagavad Gita? Gita Jayanti is coming up. Right? About 2-3 hours. Depends how quick you are. You can probably do it in an hour and a half if you're really good at Sanskrit. But what do we hear? Krishna spoke Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna as they're about to go to war. They're just about to blow their conches and go for each other. What's happening here? In fact, they do blow their conches right at the beginning of the instruction of the Bhagavad Gita. So where's the room to speak the Bhagavad Gita on the battlefield? Everyone just stood there waiting for Arjuna to kind of come out of his trance he's in or something. And Prabhupada usually says, how long did it take? 45 minutes. Well, I was listening yesterday. Prabhupada said not more than 15 to 30 minutes. How could it be longer in the front of the battlefield? He was saying like that. So what does it mean? Materially speaking, you just dismiss this as nonsense, right? Isn't it? Well, this is ridiculous. How can he speak the Bhagavad Gita, this book, in 15 minutes? This is ridiculous, isn't it? Not possible. Well, this is the mentality of conditioned souls. This is the mentality that keeps us in this material world, this world of time. World of time. Everything we look at is inconceivable in one sense, isn't it? Protecting the devotees is not just a time factor where, somebody's attacking you and Krishna kind of takes the knife away from them or something. You see, protecting us from this illusion of trying to measure him, of trying to think that we can, capture him with our material perception or something. He's not conceivable. He's inconceivable. Jiva Goswami says the first principle to actually understand Krishna is to accept that he's inconceivable. You can never go back to Godhead if we don't accept this inconceivability of the Lord. So what is the difficulty? Now, I don't want to use such a mundane example, but I will for the sake of it. Sometimes we have to use material examples in order to kind of give some... Well, okay, let's give it a little bit more down-to-earth one. Dreaming. Have you had this experience? You kind of doze off for a second. I don't know if it's a second. I don't know if you can measure it. You kind of just doze off. And it's like you have a whole dream in no time. Externally, there's no time has passed, practically speaking. But you've kind of experienced the whole thing in a dream. I don't know if I've had that many times. You get the same thing when you change your, let's say, perception in a sense on certain... Oh, what was it someone said yesterday? The misuse of substances or something? And sometimes you get that when you misuse certain substances. Time dimension changes. 1 second seems like a year. Things change. Even in our emotional world, sometimes it's like that. When there's something, which you really don't want, it just seems to drag on and on and on as if eternity almost. So, Krishna, everything's like that. Look at Dwarka. Take Dwarka as an example. Dwarka is seems to be a measurable unit of land. But, if you try to contain all of the various facts and figures which are mentioned in the Bhagavatam into that piece of tract of land, it's absolutely impossible to conceive, isn't it? From our perspective. If you're a microbe, it's not impossible to conceive. But if you're in a human body, it's impossible to conceive. How many bodyguards, for instance, did Ugrasena have? Pardon?
Quadrillion.
What's that?
Like a quadrillion.
A lot. Sometimes it said 33 trillion. It means unlimited. And you can't conceive it. It's not on the same plane of measurement that we're on, either time-wise, space-wise, or circumstantially. Krishna's pastimes manifest. Let's give another, it's not exactly an example, but it gives an indication. There was one ship which was built by none other than the British, which was unsinkable. Has anyone heard of that ship? What was it called? Titanic. On its first voyage, its very first voyage, it was quite ironic. On its very first voyage, what happened? It sank. Isn't that incredible? That doesn't generally happen at all. But this one, which was supposed to be unsinkable, sank on its very first voyage. And how did it sink? Pardon? It hit an iceberg. They realized the iceberg was there, but it was too late in the night. And they whammed into the iceberg. They were warned, but they didn't take the warning. They thought they were infallible. But they got hit by this, they smashed into the iceberg. Now, only a little bit of it was on the surface, isn't it? They call it, we have a saying, the tip of an iceberg. You can't see the rest of the iceberg. You just see a little bit above the surface, but there's around 95% or something under the water. But they couldn't see it. Bang. So what can we see? Even Krishna's pastimes is like a tip of an iceberg. We can't see beyond it. Just a little bit manifests, so for our good fortune. And for those who have the mundane perception, they can't grasp it at all. It's just, they try to measure it. The devotee doesn't try to measure Krishna any more than the cobbler. You know, the cobbler and the Brahmin, we all probably have heard that. You've heard the story, the cobbler and the Brahmin? Yeah, it's a common story, isn't it? Of how the Brahmin was trying to measure the Lord, basically speaking. How is it possible for him to thread an elephant through the eye of a needle? That's ridiculous. This is crazy. Narada, I don't believe that you went to Vaikuntha at all. It is all nonsense. Threading an elephant through the eye of a needle. Is anyone here doing any sewing right now? Sometimes the ladies are sewing something in the background. Flowers or clothes or something. Can you thread an elephant through the eye? You have to have a pretty big needle. You won't be able to hold it. Not possible. Is it possible? No, it's not. But the cobbler, he had no problem accepting that statement, did he? The devotee. Everything's possible. This is what the first principle. Krishna can do anything because he's not of this material. As this verse indicates, his body is transcendental. And this is the first thing. Bring the Bhagavad... Oh, we've got Bhagavad Gita here. Here. Prabhupada's quoting from the 4th chapter. They're very famous verses, of course. Oh, I opened it straight to the verse. One who knows this verse. Prabhupada one time said this is the most important verse of the Gita. He said that about many verses. This is one of them. Famous verse, 4th chapter, text 9. Sanskrit. Janma karma. Very good. And maybe some of you will ask, oh, do you know this verse? Of course. Anyone else know this verse off by heart? You know it in Hungary. What does it mean? Anyone else besides those who know the Sanskrit? Anyone know what the English mean is? Translation in English. Besides Reynolds, he's probably got it on. Oh, maybe you put it on the screen already. I don't know. That's one of the beauties of the screen. It's also one of the the cons because, the cons. Because then there's not that kind of challenge. Everyone just reads it on the screen. Nobody ever learns anything. It doesn't tax your brain. Your intellect. Anyone? Is it on the screen?
It's on
Yeah, it's on there now. Thanks very much. Okay. Breaks all the fun, doesn't it? Huh? It takes Ishan off the hook. One who knows the transcendental nature of my appearance and activities does not. Transcendental nature is above time, is above space. Nature of the spiritual world, there is no time, there is no limit to space. It can't be measured. Bhaktisiddhanta Maharaj himself directly says, that which can be measured is Maya. Cannot measure the transcendental realm with our senses. Dwarka, you can't measure the dimension. How many palaces were in Dwarka? Oh, that's just Krishna's queens. There are millions of others. They had palaces too. Countless palaces. How many cows was Krishna giving from each palace every day? In charity to the Brahmins. Imagine how many Brahmins there were. How many cows? How many cows do you give every day here? The people give you charity. How many cows does a local farmer give you every day? Countless. You can't count them. The opposite end of the figure of countless. 0. But just imagine if the local, mayor was giving you 13,084 or 54, whatever it is, cows every day. What would you do?
Milk them.
Huh? Milk them, yeah, sure you would. 13,000 of them every day, boy. That's not real. And he was giving that from every palace, so that's over 2 million cows a day. Well, where they all come from, where they all go to. We don't hear about cows in Dwarka. Vrindavan's the land of cows. Goloka. You don't hear of cows in Dwarka. 2 million a day. Can you imagine? You can't imagine. It's not within our capacity to imagine. That's every day. I mean, how many that is? How many billion that is every year? It's crazy. Who can believe all this stuff? One time Prabhupada said, I think it was in relationship to that court case. No, maybe not. Anyway, Prabhupada said it was a challenge went on, that, somebody challenged their movement in court or something. They brought up a picture of Lord Nrsimhadev and said, this is their God, to make it look really like, Huh? Boston, was it? Boston, I don't know where it was. But it was in some court or something. And Prabhupada, it's right there, you can read it. Prabhupada said that Krishna appears in this form to convince the atheists, to convince them there is no God. To convince them. Yes, Krishna's also reciprocating with them. They don't want to believe in God. They want to believe in something they can see, something they can measure with their mundane senses. You can't. Why can't God appear in a half lion, half man form? Why not? Because it's not possible. Why not? Well, we can't do it, therefore it's not possible. Right? But then we see in our, myths. Where does a myth come from? It has to have some origin to even exist in our consciousness. You see things like in Greek mythology of half men and half fish or something, I don't know, different things. Something beyond our capacity or ability to enact. But we have this it's called pride. Have you heard of pride? You heard the word pride? I'm not talking about the modern parades that go through the streets or whatever it is. But that's also a reflection or a manifestation of the same thing. But in general, everyone's unfortunately affected by pride, that we think that we're the center. Human beings are of the opinion that they are the most advanced creatures that have ever existed, ever, in the universe, any time, place, or circumstance. Isn't it? It's possible there might be some form of life on another planet, they say. It's possible. But, isn't it? We look at the universe as if we're the center of the universe, isn't it? We're the only ones. And previous to us, there was nothing. Depending which so-called religion you follow, there was nothing of any practically significance before that started. No one lives on it. All the planets are just meaningless blobs out there in space. Nothing, no value. Just something interesting to look at from a distance. And other than human beings now, practically the other species of life. Now, Prabhupada talks a lot about the business of even a ruler in this planet. I was listening to a lecture this morning, how Prabhupada was saying, protection, Kshatriya, how a king has to protect the citizens, not just the humans, but all living entities, birds, beasts, trees, flowers, all creatures, fishes, everyone's meant to be protected. But they're not. They're only focusing in on a certain aspect of humans. In many cases, they certainly don't protect the child in the womb, that's for sure. In many cases, quite the opposite. And in other cases, they get rid of people who don't agree with your imperfect perception, your selfish perception. They get rid of them, annihilate them. That happens. Mass scale sometimes, isn't it? We've seen that in the course of at least recent history. It's probably always been there, but especially in recent history, get rid of them. Annihilate them. We'll go any further down there, but we'll read a few more verses from Gita, then just tie up the purport. If you go back one verse, 2 verses of Bhagavad, don't put it on the screen. Okay? Relax. Okay? Text, I won't even give you the number of the text, so it might be difficult anyway. But who knows this verse? Ajopi san avyayatma bhutanameshwaropi san prakriting svamadishtaya sambhavamyatma mayaya. Anyone know this verse? Mr. English? This is the problem with GPSs. GPS, is that what you call it? these maps things. No one ever learns how to get anywhere. Even get out your front gate, it says, turn left. You don't know how to get out we don't know how to go. You have to consult the GPS to get out the front gate sometimes. We have no idea. We've lost our sense of direction. Now they have this wonderful new invention. What's it called? AI. You don't have to learn anything. It'll tell you everything. Fascinating. But it's just, taking away the proper use of human life. We become damn lazy. So, what's the meaning? More or less. Just give me.
I'm unborn and eternal, should I take my birth in this?
Yes, that's exactly what this verse today is referring to, isn't it? Although I'm unborn and my transcendental body never deteriorates. The difference between a transcendental body and a mundane body. Can anyone say that their body will never deteriorate? They do everything they can to try to avoid it, don't they? They're willing to spend lakhs, pounds even, if they've got it, in trying to maintain their so-called youth. There's so much energy going into this now. Elderly ladies particularly, trying to keep their so-called good looks or their so-called youth. Yoga, most people's the only reason they're interested in yoga is to try to keep try not to be quite so fat and flabby and when they're old, Try to keep a bit of health going on, isn't it? It's the only point of it. Yoga is the only purpose of yoga in most people's minds. It's just a health trip. No other value. A peace, for old people especially, it's good because it's not so energetic, It's a little bit more capacity. At least simple yoga, not so much of the extreme aspects of it. And mostly it's ladies who go for yoga. 95% of the yoga students are ladies in most places anyway. So they want to keep looking good and feel good, Feel good is the big thing of the day, isn't it? Feel good. So that's not the purpose of human life. To get this misconception of feeling good in this world. The body is going to die whether you're healthy or not healthy. And in fact, we find that many people who are doing all these things die earlier. It's their karma. Especially joggers. They have a heart attack in the middle of their jog and drop dead on the footpath, Even teachers of health, they drop dead early. It's quite common. It's a misconception that this is what we're here for. But the material body is bound to die. You can't stop it. Even Hiranyakashipu. Still he died. But Krishna's body never deteriorates. Never deteriorates. He appeared to leave behind a mundane form. Well, that's again the same principle Prabhupada says. To convince the atheist he's just an ordinary person. Keep them away. These type of things sometimes. These figures are there. Prabhupada said about, like for instance, Dwarka, he said, what's his name? Vijayananda Maharaj, I think, asked Prabhupada, how do you explain this? And Prabhupada said, you don't. You don't explain it. We don't even understand it ourselves. How can we conceive of it? We accept it or don't accept it. You can't explain something you can't, don't understand or don't realize. But even if we do accept it, so we don't explain it. Trying to explain it like this is, it's another plane of time, another plane of space. Krishna's body is transcendental and not material, and everything's different. Arjuna's, you go into all these things, but for most people, this is just not on. They've been so conditioned by material limited knowledge. And although I am the Lord of all living entities, I still appear in every millennium in my original transcendental form. It doesn't take on a material form like some Mayavadis or ordinary people might say. It's his original transcendental form. But he reciprocates with each and every one. It's just like the deities. Now when somebody comes into the temple room, you'll get different reactions, isn't it? And maybe even amongst us here today, we may have different perceptions or different feelings when it comes to the deity. For a pure devotee of the Lord, he's literally communicating with the Lord himself in his original transcendental form. For us, we may be accepting that factor, but we may not be realizing it, but we're accepting it, we're acting as if it is the original personality of Godhead, and doing what we're guided to, at least for his pleasure. For an ordinary person, what do they see when they come into the temple?
Statue.
Pardon?
Statues.
They may say, oh, there's very nice statues you have in your temple room there. They may be a little bit respectful. They may say, very nice statue, very beautiful. Most of them will not be able to accept that this is a form of God. If they see it's made of, I don't know, the days are made of wood or marble, whatever they're made of, brass or something. It's just a brass statue. Well, we could give an example. Now, I don't know your wife's name. Ati Sundari. There are two Ati Sundaris, I'm told, in this community. Gets confusing sometimes, doesn't it? Ati Sundari 1 and Ati Sundari 2. So, Ati Sundari, when you see a picture of your sons, to you, what is that?
My babies.
Your babies. They're alive. To you, they're there practically in the picture, aren't they? To someone else, they say, "What are you getting so affected by that picture for? Why have you got that on your mantelpiece? That's just a piece of paper. There's nothing. Why is it affecting? But to you, isn't it? Because you have a very close relationship, isn't it? To you, it is not. It's a matter of your perception, your consciousness, the relationship. Because people have a stone-like relationship with God. Probably said their hearts are stone, therefore they see stone. They don't have a relationship with Krishna. They don't have it. So they won't see. If I don't have a relationship with kids, I see a picture, it means nothing to me. It's just another picture of, like billions of other pictures of people. That it means nothing to me. If it's your children, it means everything, isn't it? Your sock last night when we moved the chair. Remember we moved the chair at the program last night? What was behind the chair? Some little tiny purple socks behind the chair at the program we went to last night. One of the kids, It means a lot to the parents. To everyone else, it's like, ooh, stinky little socks, get them out of here. Even the excretia of the baby to the mother means everything practically. It's like almost worshipable. I don't know how far you go there, but it's not like, for everyone else, it's you, keep out of here, poo. It's a relationship, you see. So when you don't have a relationship, then everything looks, we try, nothing. Their hearts, and in general, people have no relationship with God practically, except for maybe an order supplier, an impersonal order supplier, who cannot possibly appear in the form of a statue. What is this nonsense? They think like this. Hiranyakashipu meant, how can he be in this pillar? Isn't it? How is this possible? If he's there, I'll kill him. Mentality is there, isn't it? The whole religions have this mentality, practically. We'll kill the God. They have no idea what they're doing. Absolutely no vision whatsoever of the personality of God. Just some, perverted perhaps perception in some ways. Something is there, but it's not. It's the impersonal aspect only. Why Mayavada is so dangerous philosophy. Kills the personality of Godhead. They say he has no form, he has no name, he has no pastimes, he has no relationship. Just all pervasive, indescribable energy. Well, this is, the mood of pious, even religious people, when it comes down to it. Names, he has no name. Well, it says here he has no material name. So in one sense, he has no name. If you're looking at it materially, his name is not material. He has so unlimited names. How can you measure on something which is unlimited? How many is unlimited? Give a figure. doesn't have a figure, does it? So in another sense, you can't say he has, you know what I mean? You can't say he's got 10 names or 100 names.
No limit.
Huh?
No limit.
No limit, exactly. No limit. That's another one of his names. No limit, unlimited. So he's unlimited, and it's without deterioration. So all these factors are beyond material experience. You can just get some little examples to slightly indicate them. The sun, this and that. But basically, it's not possible to conceive of with material Atakshri Krishna Nama Dina Bhavad Graham Indriye. With material senses, it's not possible to conceive these things. But they can be revealed. They can be revealed. So the real protection of the Lord is not just the external one, that he may do also, but he protects our conscience. We don't become overwhelmed by this Mayavad philosophy or this materialistic philosophy or this whatever other kind of philosophy it is. He protects the devotee's bhakti, the devotion, nurtures the nurturing of that. And then the verses Prabhupada quoted, of course, are also there. Yada yadahi dharmasya, of course, the famous, and then Parikrunaya, the verse Prabhupada quotes here. Parikrunaya sadhanam vinasya chadushvitam. What does Krishna do when he comes into this world? What's his business? Does he go shopping on Princess Street or something? Saki Hall Street? Does he come here to get some good porridge? Some whiskey, Scots whiskey. You see, it's even for sale on the road to Vrindavan. All along the road, you see Scotch whiskey for sale. Maybe not in Vrindavan town, I hope not. But on the road, you see it advertised and see these dabas, Scotch whiskey and so on and so forth. Yeah, they like their Scotch whiskey now, especially in the winter. What's he come here for?
To establish the principles of Dharma and to punish the miscreants.
Yeah, actually he's already here. This is another inconceivability. He's present everywhere. We just can't see him. Our eyes are covered. When you've got your eyes closed, what can you see when you've got your eyes closed? I don't believe you're there. I can't see you. I don't know. You're not there. I can't see. If you were there, I'd see you. Your eyes are closed. You're blinded by material, covered by material coverings. Huh? Blinded, can't see spirit. Anyway, illusion, covered by illusion. To deliver the pious and annihilate the miscreants, as well as to re-establish the principles of religion, I myself appeared millennium after millennium. He comes here, and he just manifests. I mean, it's not like Krishna takes birth like an ordinary person. He manifests himself according to his will. Time, place, and circumstance. He manifests himself. He's reciprocating with the devotees in one way. He's reciprocating with camps in a different way. He's manifesting himself as he chooses, not within our grasp. You can't force him to appear or disappear. He comes and goes as he wishes. And although he says to remove religion, I mean, it's very interesting to hear that, when you read in the 11th canto that how the departure of the Yadu dynasty, and how there is explained that Krishna actually was thinking, how can I create, it's Kali Yuga, how can I create irreligion? I have to do something to evoke irreligion in the world. Because as long as religious principles are upheld, then Kali will not be able to perform his duty. Kali actually came to see Krishna in Kurukshetra at the solar eclipse, unseen by others, and said, my Lord, please, as long as you're here, as long as your dynasty is here, and as long as people have faith in your dynasty, there's nothing I can do. I'm out of a job. I'm unemployed. Please make it possible for me to do my duty, which I have to perform, which is obviously facilitate the nature of this age of Kali. So Krishna would thought, what shall I do? Yeah, I'll do something which will make people think that the Yadu dynasty are ordinary people, and I'm also an ordinary man. Fools deride me, when I descend in this human form. They think I'm an ordinary person. So Krishna created this whole scene where the expansions of the demigods all fought with each other in Pravakshetra. And apparently seemed to kill each other, but they just did the process where they went back to the heavens, that's all. So he created this scene, so for mundane persons, they see it as being an example of, the mundane nature of God and his plan. And they criticize, they belittle. In this way, it creates a facility of irreligion, and then Kali can perform his business. It's a conspiracy, I was reading this morning. Baba says, a conspiracy took place. Shringi, the Brahmin boy, all to allow Kali to come in. Because it has to be. The winter has to begin. So this is how the winter begins. Krishna arranges it. It is all his hand at work. There's no competitor to God. Everything's arranged by him. Unseen by the ordinary vision of a conditioned soul. It's a big topic. I'll just finish the purport off. He appears to act within the modes of mature nature. Can I have your permission to carry on this verse tomorrow? Is it possible, if we're still alive? The world's still here. Never know. Of course, you're in a very good spot here, although Glasgow's not very far away. I remember 1980s. This is another obstacle on our path. 1980. When did you come to Chaitanya College? 82, 81, 82, 81, no, 83. Pardon? 82? So this was in 81. This was during Jayatira's time. And there was a big, the devotees in Chaitanya College were planning to make Chaitanya College like, the safest place on earth when the bomb drops. It wasn't if, all over the country though, in 81. Signs were when the bomb goes off. There was this propaganda. Signs, notices on the walls, in the offices, in the schools here. I don't know if schools, but institutions. When the bomb goes off, people were paranoid. So much fear. And the devotees were affected in two different ways. One, affected like that, and two, we should try to protect ourselves. So they had a business trying to sell these anti-radioactive, radioactive clothes and all kinds of stuff. And they were loading up in the basement of Chaitanya College provisions to survive the fallout, etc. Because Chaitanya College, you don't know, most of you never went there. It was a very, they had a big basement, very thick walls. You could practically block it off to the outside world. I don't know where you get your air from. You can't store air very well. But anyway, they were thinking like this. There was a lot of kind of like, thinking that we can defend ourselves, It's not within our grasp, even if we do, but that mentality was there. But it so happened that one of our devotees was working in the planning department in the Birmingham City Council. And he came across some document from the big guys up on the top, planning what they do if the bomb goes off. The first place they were going to target was Chaitanya College as their headquarters. You can't, think we can't protect ourselves. It's not possible. I think in the Second World War, they chose the most isolated island in the Pacific or something to kind of hide out. It so happens, I think the Americans or the Japs made that one of their headquarters during the war, and just, that was the end of the hide. It's like, we can't do it. We have to take shelter of Krishna different with us. So we'll take that up tomorrow. Prabhupada, I think, he goes into the realistic way that we can be protected in the rest of the purport. Yes, there are many ways we can look at that, but it's not by physically trying to protect ourselves. We may make the effort. It's not that we don't make any effort, but we don't expect that that's the solution. Use that common sense. Anyway, that's a topic for tomorrow. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
And we're also transcendental. We're not this body, are we? Are we? You sure? Are we? Are we the body or not? Easy to say no, isn't it? I guess we should say no and make gradually kind of, working on that platform. We have to work on the process of realization, not just on the theory, isn't it? What does it mean we're the body or we're not the body? I mean, if you say, I'm not the body, what does that mean? I mean, we can theoretically, but I mean, in terms of, is there any kind of like evidence, or not evidence, but signs?
Yeah.
Alan?
Yeah, like when we're dreaming, or people's near-death experiences.
Okay, that's okay. That's a logical perception. I was thinking more in terms of the devotee and their behavior. Someone who says, I'm not the body. Well, but you're behaving just like everybody else. What's the difference?
They can tolerate things without being disturbed.
Pardon?
They can tolerate things without being disturbed.
Can they? I'm not sure. They should do, in one sense. Depends what it is that's going on, of course. There are different ways of looking at that. But in principle, that's one of the first principles, isn't it? In the Bhagavad Gita. Matasparshasthita Kantiya Shatoshna Shukha Dukkha. That's to tolerate things without being disturbed. But do we? I don't know. Maybe to some extent, but then so do materialistic people. Sometimes they seem more tolerant than we are. Is there any other symptom?
You're acting through Krishna's instructions. If you're acting through his instructions, then it takes you above the gunas.
That's the process, isn't it? But I was looking for symptoms from the devotee's point of view. How do you recognize that you're actually acting on that platform or on that principle? You're not the body. Prabhupada?
So back to Gita, when Krishna talks about what is right for introspective stages, daytime, for materials. So the things which devotees are inspired to do, without any expectation of result.
No attachment to the result, is that what you said?
Yeah, well, they're actually inspired by doing things to please Krishna rather than just pleasing themselves.
Seems like sometimes devotees are more attached to the result than the karma is sometimes.
Sometimes they're attached to the result because they want to please.
Well, we hope that that's the case. Should be, shouldn't it?
Should be.
I guess in the neophyte stage it may not be completely selfless in that regard. Should be. We'd think about it. Look at the characteristics of one who's dear to Krishna. Look at the qualities of a Vaishnava. Is this the measure? It can be a perceivable measure. They may not always be. We're very conditioned sometimes. We have very bad samskaras and so on. But inside you're trying to see everything, as we discussed yesterday. Yesterday's point was seeing things in relationship with Krishna, wasn't it? Seeing things in relation. The devotee sees everything in relationship with Krishna. The more we're seeing things in relationship with Krishna, that's not a bad sign. Of course, we can't take that to mean that we can justify everything in the name of relationship with Krishna. Our nonsense. Well, what can I do? It's Krishna's energy. I'm just helpless. It wasn't my fault. Krishna provided the whiskey and gave me the inspiration to drink it. I'm Krishna conscious, right? I'm thinking of Krishna. Well, Prabhupada said that to the alcoholics in San Francisco. He said, Jayananda, he asked, how can I help the alcoholics? And Prabhupada said, when they drink their wine or their liquor, just say thank you. Just tell them to say thank you, Krishna, for the taste in the liquor. But that's like on a neophyte platform. That's the very stage one. But if you want to progress, you've got to a little bit beyond that stage of say, consciousness. It's a bit more different. I think it's a big topic, time to get into it today, but just think about that. It's not just about wearing tilak, is it? Oh, you can tell a devotee, they've got their tilak on, right? And, they shave every month if they're in male. Or they're, wearing a sari, that means they're a devotee, right? If you haven't got a sari on, you're not a devotee, right? You've got to wear dhoti. If you don't have a dhoti, you're not a devotee. That's not necessary, the sign at all. It might be favorable or helpful to practice the process of realization, but it's not in itself a clear sign that this is a devotee, although it may remind others of devotees, so it can be all favorable, but that's not the external signs. Even chanting 16 rounds a day is a good thing. It should be done. It's certainly a sign that we're on the path. But to what degree we're a devotee, we may have other motivations for doing these things. We may have some other motivations. So it's the motivation we have in our service is also an important factor. What is our motivation? What is the purpose that we're acting? Why are we doing it? Why are you driving the car? Who's going shopping today? Shopping today? You were talking about it in the car last night, weren't you, or something? Okay, I don't know. I didn't catch what you were talking about, you guys. Something about that. Why are you doing that? You want to get some, go there and buy something to eat and enjoy yourselves there and some nice liquor. No, you're not doing that. What are you going to the Tesco for, wherever you go? Yes, you're going there to shop for offering it to Krishna, right? So there's something there. It's Krishna conscious, isn't it? No one else is doing that. Are they? You're going to drive, maybe where are you going to? Edinburgh today on Sankirtan? Why are you going to Edinburgh? Why are you going to Edinburgh? You're going to look at the, what's it called? The Royal Mile? What's that road called? Huh? The Royal Mile, you're going to have a wander at the Royal Mile. Maybe there's some nice shops to look in or some, attractive things up there. Go on a ghost run, ghost trail. Have some fun in Edinburgh. Is that where you're going? There's some good bars here. I can give you a few tips if you want to go to the bar. Is that where you're going? And get the job, maybe. Maybe you're going for an interview. You're going to the busk. Okay, you're going to get some money busking on the Royal Mile then. What are you going there for? You don't need to go there. Just take it easy. Have a nap. Relax here. Who's forcing you to do this? Huh? Prabhupada's looking weird in the back there right now. Where are you going?
Try to connect everyone with Krishna.
Oh my God. What a dreadful thing to do. Connect them all to Krishna. They don't want to connect to Krishna. You're forcing them against their will. You go in there because you want to please Krishna. You want to please Prabhupada. We may not be very effective, but we do. So there's something there. The motive, the reason. It's not just you won't get breakfast if you don't go, is it? I was reading this morning, Prabhupada was saying, she said, if they're not willing to engage in devotional service, then they shouldn't have breakfast. Shouldn't have prasad. It can't just be, it's not a place for lazy and crazies. It's not a free hotel. Stay in the temple. You need to do service. 10 in the morning program, do service. Just trying to pick us up, wake us up from the mode of ignorance, come to, at least to the mode of passion. Do something which is, actually authorized for the pleasure of Krishna. And Sankirtan is the best activity in one sense. Every activity is Sankirtan. It certainly is. Deity worship, Sankirtan, cleaning the temple, everything. The pleasure of Krishna. You don't have to do it otherwise. How much they pay you for going out? Is it a good wage? Is it the minimum? Huh? Good wage, okay. Isn't it amazing here? A devotee, very happy doing service with no pay. Maybe you do get paid, I don't know. Sometimes that's there. But in general, it's devotional service means unmotivated, uninterrupted. You don't ask anything in return. It's just natural love. It's the beginning of this. This is the process. We see the Buddha as enthusiastic for service. When we want to get recognized and praised, it's the neophyte stage, which may be there. But in a more mature stage, one doesn't even want to be recognized or praised. Just the privilege of being given this chance, causeless mercy. We have no right, deserve, you could say, but mercy of Prabhupada, been given this opportunity to engage in our constitutional, the path to our constitutional position. Selfless love for Krishna. And so the more we put the center on Krishna, the more we're Krishna conscious. Materialists don't do that. Even if they think of God, God give me this, God give me that, God give me this, God help me, God save me, God save the Queen, King. They sing that now, God save the King, the royal anthem, has it changed? God save the King, da, 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 da. I guess they've changed it now. Learn a new song. Well, she did pretty good. I mean, 71 years she was the Queen, I heard. That must be a record. Pretty good. She was well into her 90s. That was pretty good innings. Pretty good innings, I must say. I think her mother even hit the ton. They do pretty good. Not bad. She was not an ordinary lady. No, she had Prabhupada's Gita. She praised Prabhupada's Gita. She met devotees on many occasions. Took prasadam, garlanded. No, she was a bit above the normal cut, that's for sure. Probably that's why she lasted so long. Anyway, for what it's worth. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
So now what are we going to do now? Huh? Sweet rice. Where's the sweet? Hey, give me the prasad from my bag. Huh? Where's the sweet rice? It should be served in the outside room there now. Give me those sweets, quick. Just give me the bag. What have you done to the bag? Little tiny bit of Mahaprasadam here for everyone, if you want. It's not much, I'm afraid, because they didn't give me